Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this. The podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock them out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit them with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break them, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
This is Nathaniel Cunningham, and not only is Can Crushers Podcast the home of the Bad Fellas, but it is also the home of High Ground Pro Wrestling.
Happy Earth Day!
Happy Earth Day.
What are you celebrating Earth Day today?
Earth Day? What are you celebrating?
Earth Day is today. You are thinking
I know it is Earth Day. That's why I said Earth Day.
I'm going to start cleaning the pool and do some work. So that's kind of earthy, right?
Yeah, I laid some mulch down, cut the lawn yesterday, cleaned up the yard to promote better tree growth, I guess we're going to go with, but I made it look pretty outside.
I will go, the mulch, I don't know if it has anything to do with tree growth, but the rest I will give you.
The mulch is probably just for prettiness, and let's be honest.
Beautification
of a tree. I'm providing it with the eyeliner to bring out its beauty. I don't know. That doesn't make any fucking sense, so I'm going to stop while I'm behind.
Welcome to Can Crushers, where we talk about making trees pretty and hating on garbage.
Yeah.
Up Mark the Mark, that's Sir Michael Jenks. Do you have light mulch or the darkish red mulch?
I got black mulch.
Oh, you went.
I go black. I like
a better tire class. It really is.
Ties everything together. It should look very nice next to the black staining I'm going to put on the deck here in a little couple weeks here. So I'm going to stain my deck black. So
why isn't it getting that? Well, today during Earth Day, it's supposed to pour fucking rain in my neck of the woods. And you know, guys, we're recording this Friday night, but it is supposed to pour like nobody's business. So.
Same here. I'm trying to find a 5-day cycle because it recommended on the side you should have like 5 days for the stain to actually sit in before there's like weather or something like that.
Good luck until May.
I know. I had the opportunity, the first week of April, I think it was. And I'm like, well, there's no fucking way I'm doing this right now. So, because the tree falls, it's blooming outside the window, but all the seedlings come off the tree about mid-April. So that's all of the deck in the backyard now. So I have to clean that off and then fucking do it. Actually, I got to power wash the deck, then actually do it. So
Memorial Day, actually, probably.
Yeah, probably. That's probably good because next week I took a day off to just lay it like a layer.
Your oats? Oh.
Yeah, soil my oats. I'm just growing some corn. And listen, none of that 420 business I'm growing in my backyard, okay? None of that, but
I was thinking soiling your oats the other way. I was being perverted.
Oh, really? I thought you were talking, like, I've heard soil your oats for the regular, farming, but Jesus Christ. Guys, we're off to a rousing start, and only one of us is drinking today.
I am.
I know I'm not, but I did.
That only one of us is. I'm drinking because I have to work tomorrow.
I did. You guys, we were talking about not drinking. I had my first beer last Saturday in a month and a half, had 3. They were fantastic. Have not drank since then, and I really don't feel the inkling to, but, it was pretty nice.
It's going to be social drinking. It's not that you need one. Like, I will be remiss, depressed, angry, sad, all the emotions that are negative that we have sometimes on the show. I would feel that way if I come to Parts Unknown, Erie, Pennsylvania, and we wouldn't go to the corner bar or something and have a drink.
Oh, we're having a drink.
Yeah, we're going to have drinks. We've grown up. We don't need to have shower beers every night or whatever.
Well, that's exactly it. It's going to be socially. Last Saturday was a special occasion, celebrated the girlfriend's birthday. We went to Riverside Brewing that's around here. So obviously you got to go, you got to have a couple beers. I had a maple chai tea beer, which was actually fantastic.
It sounds delicious.
It was very nice. It was very delicious. So it was well worth it. So yeah, socially, yes. If I've had like I'm outside sweating my ass off, I might come in and chug like an IPA real quick just to kind of cool off instantly. But outside of that, it's not going to happen every night.
It's not going to because you're having steak and potatoes, you're going to have a beer.
Right. Not going to happen. Although, if I have a good old ribeye, I might crack open this nice whiskey that I got from Tennessee that's been staring at me for the past 8 months.
I know. I have that other one that Grandma brought from one of those islands that I don't know about that I'm going to be at. Didn't get any hate, by the way.
No hate.
Well, no, because you didn't get to listen to the beginning of the episode like you normally does. Because last week we were on our way to a football game.
No, that's true. That's very true. You didn't put the podcast on just to listen to in the car? Listen to our sultry voices again, just the serenade?
Dude, she was sleeping before we got out of the driveway. Because we left at 7:30 in the morning to go down to a football game at 1.
That's fair.
That's the way I roll.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm going to take a nap. We pulled into the stadium. Oh, we're here already. Yeah. 2.5 hours later, we're here, Sleeping Beauty. And I can say all this because I know tomorrow she won't be able to listen to it either. Because we both got stuff going on in the morning. So I can throw her under the bus. Kelly, when you are listening to this, though.
Mark with his free reign. He knows when he's got it, and he knows when he can talk.
Pull
it back real quick. Pull it back.
Shit. Because it's on Spotify all the time. Shit.
Editing past episodes to take that out. Yeah, I get it. So how was your week so far?
The beginning of the week was the beginning of the week. Kind of wet, kind of moist, kind of all over the place. Got one game in Wednesday. Well, I went to a place that we'll talk about, Dynamite, which was good. I have a lot to say about that this time. And then I got the forewarning that I got stuff to do at the job this weekend. And yeah, I mean, I can say the studio might be moving. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff that might not go on. There's just, listen, it's a basket full of shit and a basket full of roses. I'm going to end up somewhere.
The shit fertilizes the roses, so take that with what you want. I mean,
listen to you, fucking Mr. Green Thumbs.
Mr. Green Thumbs, also Caroline, her shit thought it smelled like roses, so
Yeah.
You pick up things from Outkast from the early 2000s. That's all I'm saying.
You do. I don't know. That's it. We'll talk wrestling. Oh, some people are really excited. The football season's right around the corner.
How big's this corner?
6 or 7 months. So we're going to the football game. All right, I will get hell because this will get back to her, so it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. We were going to the football game, and she knew Pitt was playing. She didn't know who Pitt was playing. I said Pitt. She's like, what? I said it's a blue gold game. No clue why. We were just going to Pittsburgh for football is what she understood. Mm-hmm. Pitt's playing Pitt? Yeah. What are you talking about? I said, essentially, it's a practice game. I took off fucking work to go to a practice game. Yeah, this is why I didn't tell you that. Well, the band's going to be there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll be fine. Band's going to be there. As you know, you guys can't see us, but Jenks is like, oh, God, I had no fucking clue if the band was going to be there. I wouldn't think. It's a practice. Why the hell would the band be there?
Honestly, I don't know, but I know it's a big deal in some schools, so the band would be there. So
it's huge. Well,
yeah.
Penn State, Pitt. I mean, listen, they're all doing it anymore. Did I think the band was going to be there? Not a chance in hell did I think. Thank God, as soon as we went into the stadium in Heinz Hall, that's why Kelly has a season tickets to Pitt football. Is for halftime and pregame. Pregame and halftime in the correct order. The football game does not matter. It's the band in the band. So I was off the hook when the band played pregame, and then it was a free-for-all for sitting at Heinz Field, or whatever it's called. So we decided we're going to sit right next to the band. She was perfect all day. I won because I knew the band was going to be there. We sat next to the band. Neither did I have planned out.
You lucky bastard. That's what it is. You win. You're lucky. You should play the Powerball now, or whichever one's higher.
Right.
Did you see they? And go ahead, finish your story.
And that's when she's like, "Man, I can't wait. Football season's right around the corner." It's April. Baseball season just started. It's September when football season starts, so figure that out. It's literally 5 months away.
You got summer practices. You could just take her to one of those, right?
As long as the band's there, I don't care.
Oh my God. Well, no, I was going to make a comment to the stadium that I think would delight you because I don't know if you saw it or not. They brought back the Heinz ketchup bottle.
I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, they weren't there when we were there last
week.
They were bringing them in on Monday or Tuesday or whatever. Yeah. But yes, I'm super excited to have the Heinz Red Zone back. Now we can just have Heinz Field back. It would be even better.
That's too expensive. But ketchup bottles you can have.
We can have the ketchup bottles. So how was your week, sir?
You know, as jovial as I sound, it was mentally tasking. For the most part, I will say this: it was very good week. Don't get me wrong. Just certain aspects of it, just for like they play on your mental health a little bit. You're just like, well, fuck it. What the fuck am I doing? I got the great news that God of War brought out New Game Plus. If you played God of War, you know how exciting this is. So you get basically, Mark, to explain this to you. So you haven't played God of War yet, I don't think.
No.
Is the two recent ones, the one in 2018 and now this one now. You play through the game, you get all your upgraded armor and everything. New Game Plus is you keep all the armor, the weapons, everything that you got in the first playthrough. You take it into the second game, they just up the enemy levels, and then you play against higher level enemies with that new armor just from the get-go.
And then you keep doing this?
Well, it'll only be this one. Once you get through this next playthrough, you will have beaten whatever the game is. So, but they will let you upgrade your armor even further in this playthrough. So you'll get a like level 13s, 14 armor, things of that nature.
You'll get John Cena level.
Right now you're John Cena level playing against all the mid-major, all the jobbers that are coming in right now. You're buffing your stats until the first enemy comes, and then just the actual boss comes and knocks you on your ass, basically. So I love it right now. So got that. So got that great news. Started playing that. Replaying that again.
Are you waking up at the ass crack of dawn again doing this? Because I know you were getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning when it first came out.
No, but I've thought about it. But that's part of the reason that it's been a long week is I could have been playing this, but I've been trying to go back to sleep because I've been waking up at 4 a.m. for no reason this week, going to bed at 11. And I've been dog shit tired. And the dog's not waking me up. It's not Bailey's fault. It's nobody's fault. I'm just up at 4 o'clock because for no reason. So I could go back, but then I'm too stubborn and I'm like, I gotta go back to sleep. So I try to sleep for a couple hours and that does not work, but whatever. I'm too stubborn to give up and go play God of War. Yeah. But it was a good week. Celebrated the girlfriend's birthday. Talked about that already, but happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Kimberly. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. She's excited. She's happy. She loved the gift that I got her, so that was fantastic. And then, so now I'm here trying to debate on the new phone I'm going to get since I broke my other one yesterday, which is fan-fucking-tastic.
You got years, though, out of this phone.
I did. I got 5 years out of this phone, almost, which was fantastic. I loved it. It was fantastic. It was running fine. The charging port was starting to go on it, so I didn't really... It was still charging. I could still charge it, so I wasn't too worried about it. But yesterday, somehow, some way, it fell off the ledge that I had it on in the garage, hit the corner, and now it's dying its slow black screen death that it's doing. Still works fine right now, but It's slowly getting bigger. I cannot see the battery life on it. I don't know if I have Wi-Fi on or not right now. So it's like,
tell me this at all.
I didn't tell you that part, but yeah. So now the upper right corner is just a black L, just covering all of that stuff. So it's fantastic. It's just so fun. And
this weekend you're going shopping? Like, probably not as soon as we're done doing a podcast, but that's something you and Kimberly can pick out together this weekend. A new phone for you.
It could, yeah, we could definitely do that. It depends on if the places that I have the model I want. So we'll see what happens, because I'm definitely shopping probably after the podcast, just on the computer doing comparisons and whatnot. Because listen, if I'm going to spend an exorbitant amount of money on a goddamn phone,
the fucking one that I want.
Exactly. I'm getting what I want and researching the fucking one. So that's where I'm at right now, is, just the fun and excitement. It's only money. It's only money.
It goes on trees.
Money, yeah. Yeah, it goes on trees. Whatever.
When you don't have a house payment, electric payment, food payment, truck payment, it just comes everywhere.
It just comes everywhere.
$1 million an hour.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, even when you have those things, it's still there. It's still there. You might be one kidney short, but it's still there. It's just the way it is. But yeah, so that's my fun this week. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it was a week, and it was kind of a week in wrestling too. I'm going to do the hot take, but I'm going to do this first. All right, guys, it is definitely confirmed. May 13th, Falcons Nest, High Ground Professional Wrestling is back. All seats $20. Get there. 6:30 bell, open door. Come in and see me. 7 o'clock, you can see the wrestlers. Right?
Yeah.
I get a full half an hour first because they just pump. They at 6:30 open the door to see Mark. 7 o'clock the show starts.
So is it?
That's not on the poster, but that's what we were trying to cut words off the poster. But
well, I get that because, to be honest, let's be honest, you would be the centerpiece of that poster, and that might take away from the actual show.
Right.
So they got to keep you off. Yeah, I get that. So what are you gonna do? Just hold court in the middle of the ring and
I would imagine. Yeah. I'm just gonna say, hey, come on.
Question.
What I'm looking for? I will ruin this right now. And if anybody can do this by the 13th, or really actually before that, I want a bow tie with the Can Crushers logo on it. I know it's out there on Etsy. I saw it, but I can't remember where I found it. I'm going to have to do some research. Maybe tomorrow or when you're listening to this. Maybe today at work. Jenks is going to do it right now.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, essentially, that's what I want. I added the hat last time that everybody was all spruced up about. I think a bow tie with the Can Crusher logo would top it all off.
It would class it up a bit, I think.
Yeah. And maybe not all the time that I would wear this, but I'm looking at a bow tie now.
I like it.
Yeah.
They got plenty of options out here.
There are. It's really, I have to ask one of the seller vendors or whatever, how fast can you get this mofo to me?
Do you just want me to randomly ask my sister if she could put a logo on a bow tie with a circuit?
Are you for shizzle? Yeah.
I'll ask tomorrow. I'm seeing her tomorrow. We're hanging out tomorrow. I'll see. I'll poke around and see what she can do.
Because I know where you live, so I can just drive up and get it by then. Day off work, going to see Jenks.
I'll see what I can do.
It's not going to be a weekend, because for fuck's sake, from now until the end of July, I don't have a weekend.
I was going to say, you're fucking busy. Like, you're the busiest motherfucker I know, I think, for the next, 3 months, 4 months.
Which I'm happy with. I really am.
So do you realize that you said to the end of July? That means you only have the month of August of free weekends, maybe, before Pitt football starts.
It's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. It'd be right around the corner then.
And then that takes up, September 2nd until November 29th, November 25th. What do we do on weekends and Saturdays then? We watch college football.
Exactly.
That's so I am booked until December 1st. But again, it's at May 13th at the Falcon's Nest. Come out, support High Ground Professional Wrestling. The promo show will be out in a couple of weeks. We are in the midst of recording it right now, so yeah, you'll hear all the matches and everything. The matches will start unleaking,
yeah.
If they're gonna unleak,
that means
you'll never know what the matches are.
Yeah, they put fucking flex tape on that shit, and it's not coming out.
The matches will start leaking on Jesus. So what did you see in wrestling this week that was noteworthy?
Well, a bunch of flex tape was used. That's all I saw. But yeah, put me on the spot.
Nothing.
Right. I could really, honestly, I don't think I saw anything of
major note.
Nothing. I was gonna say, 'cause I don't think I saw anything of major note of substance that came up. I mean, if you want to, I saw in history, it popped up on my Twitter feed today, this day in WWE history where they had those god-awful political matches. Do you remember that? 25 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. And then the one with Trump and Rosie O'Donnell and that fucking shit. Yeah, so that god-awful trash came across my Twitter feed today, and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. But I haven't seen anything of note this week. Have you?
No, Ted DiBiase Jr. went to jail and then he bailed out already.
Yeah.
With the whole money scandal he's got going on. And then across the board on AEW, really, now we're just beating a dead horse. And I'll get to the other one that just popped in my head. We're beating a dead horse. Britt and Thunder Rosa are just not going to be friends. And it's okay.
Yeah.
All right? It's okay. If you like them both, a la Mark, a la Jenks, a la wrestling fans, it's okay. Will they spit on each other in the back? Possibly. Will they never say anything again? Possibly. But when Thunder gets cleared, she'll still be a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be worked out by then. Shit happens in wrestling.
It does. And it's not even that they have big egos. It's just the personalities of individuals.
Right.
They don't mesh. They don't work together. They might have great chemistry in the ring, but that doesn't mean they have to like each other at all. We've seen that time and time again.
A respect or anything there, but yeah, whatever.
I would have to say there's probably some sort of mutual respect for what the other can do in the ring. I mean, listen, Piper and Hogan were never best of friends during their whole run, but the respect was there, right? So I'm not calling them Savage and Andre. Same thing. Andre hated Savage. You heard horror stories of Andre purposely wanting to hurt Savage in the ring just to prove a point. Like, it's just been that way throughout history. Seth and Cody do not like each other. They stay opposite sides of the spectrum, but they will come together and have a great match because there's that mutual respect and they're professionals about it.
And there's money involved.
There's big money involved. So why would you jeopardize the big money by hurting or physically, you know what I mean, taking out a vengeance on somebody? That's just not how that works. It's just not how it works. It's not how it's going to work. I think they'll be fine. They'll be consummate professionals, but they don't need to say hi, bye. They can flip each other off.
They don't go to fucking Permani Brothers together.
No, they don't. They don't need to do anything. Just say hi. Just go hi, fuck
Peace
you,
out.
bye. Do the MJF at the end of a press conference. Goodbye, fuck you, thank you, fuck you, goodbye, or something like that. However that went, that last press conference that he did. And when he won the title. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Digress.
Right.
What are you doing on June 15th, 17th?
Awfully bold of you to think I know my life past up 2 weeks out, but okay.
June 17th.
June 17th. I don't know why. What am I doing June 17th?
I don't know. There's wrestling going on in Chicago. AEW's next show is popping up on that Saturday. I don't
just a random show next Saturday. Yeah.
Just a random first ever show on a Saturday. And I guess this guy's gonna make a return.
I've heard rumblings of some schmuck coming out of the retirement, just collecting a paycheck or something. I don't know what.
$52 million worth
of paycheck.
They have have to bring him back. Listen, it's CM Punk, guys. If you're like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about? It's CM Punk. The date is set.
Yeah, AEW Collision. You're exactly right. That is exactly what that. Yes, I wanted to talk about this because that's exactly what that fucking show is being designed for. It's to bring Punk back, and it's a 2-hour show. It's his own show.
It will be his own show. I mean, we don't know this. This is our speculation. He's got $52 million.
He's gonna come.
He owes AEW some more appearances.
Just a few more.
Have your fucking own show for a while. We'll feed you, and no disrespect, we'll feed you Hobbs. We'll feed you whomever for a while.
Give you the Varsity Blondes or the one that shows up this week. Whatever. Yeah.
I about died when I saw $52 million.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
Like, so he's just throwing money like, fuck you, get over here.
I can edit video, sound. I ring announce in case Dasha gets COVID too. I'm here.
I can pretend I ring announce if you need somebody desperate.
You can ring the bell.
I could be the time.
I'm doing it less than $52 million.
I can do exactly. Probably way less than 52 million. But if you're giving away 52 million, $1 million would suffice.
Yeah.
But just that's fine.
I'm all right with that.
I will tear down the ring if you give me $1 million.
That's actually fun.
Oh, I believe it.
Down and setting up the ring. I mean, doing it week in and week out.
Okay.
But I did it a couple times with OVW. Maybe it's because we're marks, we're fans, we're something like that to say, I set up a ring. Like, listen, Al Snow and I were carrying the same board. I was pretty happy about that for a second.
Where's this board crooked? Don't worry about it, Al.
On that note, do we want to talk wrestling?
Probably should.
We probably should.
Back down.
And we're talking about Al Snow, so let's talk about Collar and Elbow, not bent boards. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Collar and Elbow has. Check out their new shirts that they have. Use the promo code CanCrushers. You save how much, Jenks? Jesus God.
I can't remember now.
10%. You're worried about the bent board.
I didn't even think like bent board. I wasn't even thinking bent board. I was just thinking it was going to push the board up on your side. But now that's fucking.
Oh, Jesus Christ! This is going downhill fast.
It's went downhill very bad.
Buy stuff from Collar and Elbow. You'll get some great merch. I have the old school property Collar and Elbow shirt on. It's still one of my favorites. It fits like I bought it right out of the pack, and it's probably 5 years old. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, it's all at CanCrusher69. CanCrusher69@gmail.com is where you can send us emails. We're old school. We still check on them every once in a while. And where can you find us? You know this one.
I know this one. 10% off. No, just kidding. It's at had to make Mark spit his beer out. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Android, anywhere, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever you got, you can find us on there.
Listen to us, rate, review, tell us how bad we're perverted this week, whatever you want to. I don't. At this point, I don't care. It's a week of wrestling. It's right around the corner, and it's not bent.
It's not bent.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, this is Baby Doll, your perfect tan. And if you wanted to listen to some wrestling talk, listen to the Can Crushers.
Welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Mark to Mark, Sir Michael Jenks. We're going to dive into WWE. We're going to get back to our normal kind of concept that we do because last week we were all over the place. But we're gonna give you this segment in WWE, and we're gonna start with last week's SmackDown that we watched some of it as we were recording, as we always do. It'll be on here in about an hour. But Jenks, we can go all over the place.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would we do it any other way? But what did you think of SmackDown in general?
In general, I liked it, obviously, but it was a week where we had to still get from point A to point B. We're still in that transition to Backlash, right? And we still haven't fully gotten into a full swing of things. We know pretty much how the card's playing out, but there's some gems on here. I mean, gems in LA Knight and Xavier Woods.
Right.
We always forget Xavier can work until somebody steps up and actually brings it out of him, and LA Knight is that guy. Still surprised, though. I'm still surprised LA Knight lost that match. I think that was something that threw me off, but I guess it's not too surprising in the long run, but...
He's left off of Mania. He's getting this big to-do, first and foremost, okay? And we're talking last pay-per-view. Him and Bray Wyatt. And, you know, essentially we both think Bray can take this loss, and it's going to help LA Knight. That didn't happen. So now we're looking like, okay, at least he's going to pop up on WrestleMania, screw Bobby over, hit him with the trophy, do something, because LA Knight in LA for WrestleMania. Shit is just lining up perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it didn't happen. So then I see that Xavier Woods is taking on LA Knight. I'm like, all right, maybe this is going to be, and I don't want to call it a big win, but this is going to be a stepping stone win for him. Because listen, what are we going to do with Xavier?
Yeah.
Big E may be done. Throw that out there. Everybody can read that on their own, but he essentially may be done. And he's just going to maybe slide into oblivion, right? Not many updates recently.
Yeah, and the one that came out, it was more or less of, I meet with the doctors in a few weeks, but it didn't sound good. So the only thing we
see you.
Maybe I'll see him, maybe I won't. Maybe Big E ends up at the commentator desk, which would be fantastic. That would be amazing. But so now with
Kofi's on the shelf. You would think, all right, this is Xavier Woods. He's going to be a chopper for a while. He gets the win. He cheated to get the win, so maybe we're going to get heel Woods or whatever, and I'm all right with it because trust me, I like Woods. I liked all of them. Let me throw this out there because I do in the WWE segment want to talk about this. So let's start percolating. Cuts are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Is LA won?
I don't think LA is one. I think, but
McMahon is gonna.
Vince may be, but when you have rumors circulating that it's Austin Theory or LA Knight that is your Money in the Bank front runners right now, and it's coming out of the front office, LA's not one. I think they see him as an asset, and they know what he can do. And I think Vince has to kind of bite his tongue a little bit here if he's going to try to push anything. LA's proved you wrong.
Yeah.
And he's proved you wrong big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think LA would become one. Woods might have, Woods wouldn't have been. Woods is in that kind of safety bubble now.
Right.
So the New Day has made him indispensable. Even without Kofi.
They can still go with that for a little bit.
Yeah. So I think LA Knight is your guy that's going to be, I don't think he's going to get cut because they see the value and he's more main event ready than whatever Austin Theory's doing right now. Just saying, I'll throw it out there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
what always happens right before the Money in the Bank, and we see clearly LA Knight was a tease about being cut. I do want to talk about some people after we're done talking about Raw as well, about some people being cut. But you lose a lot, and you lose stupidly.
Right.
And then, and I said it, a la Jinder and a la this person, that person, because you get that Money in the Bank, you're instantly made.
Mm-hmm. It's still a big briefcase, no matter what they try to do to it or what stupidity they come out of it with, like cashing in on a U.S. champion. You're still made by it. It still elevates your status enough to make you bigger than what you appear, right? I mean, Corbin, the shit we give Corbin, he still won Money in the Bank. He may have lost Money in the Bank, but he's still around. I mean, the only one that didn't.
Listen, we shit on him, but he's a workhorse.
He's a workhorse. He's there every week. He does what he needs to do. And he's entertaining. Whether you like it or not, he is very entertaining.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only person that Money in the Bank didn't really work out for in the long term, well, I'll say short term more, Damien Sandow. Otis, yeah.
Yeah.
But Otis is still around, and Otis still fucking finds a way to be on your TV, to become a male model.
Right.
Just get the gorgeous woman on his arm and become a male model. We're still
hoping for that.
Otis is living the fat man dream right now. We can all attest to that, but it's just one of those things where it's like something good is going to happen or come out of it, even if you win, lose, or draw it. The sky's the limit. And when you have the right person take it and run with it, it's a beautiful thing to see how everything shakes out.
Agreed wholehearted. It looks like Woods is going to be the next challenger. Throw this out there for Gunther in Puerto Rico and just probably get decimated.
That's the thing. A lot of these matches that are shaping out right now for Puerto Rico look like they're just thrown together, just squash, kind of build up the champion type thing. And it's quality wins.
It is what it is. Main events. There's 2 main events in this thing, and we'll get to them as we're talking. But in fact, one's coming up. Judgment Day, Warning, Bad Bunny, all the LWO comes out. Priest and Santos. It was a decent match until all hell broke loose. And I'll say that again on another match, coming down the line, maybe on Raw. But they're good matches. Just it was all hell breaks loose this week for way too many times.
Do we need all the shenanigans?
Listen, this is we're trying to talk it up that it was good wrestling this week, and it was good wrestling. It was just filler storylines across the board.
I feel like you can just get away with some of these rivalries without the shenanigans and just have somebody beat somebody clean. And then you do the shenanigans. I know, wild concept. And I know we're in WWE, so that's a really wild concept for people. But clean wins, then have shenanigans. Have them to your heart's content. Just let the fucking matches be. Because to me, I don't know about you, I'm into a match, and when it ends in shenanigans, I get pissed. Yeah. And then I'm sitting there like, well, fuck, I'm not going to invest in the next match because I think it's going to end in fucking shenanigans. And 8 times out of 10, I'm correct. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So it was a great match. I won't take that away. But again, you have 2 very talented individuals involved in this match. You have a Hall of Famer quite literally leading this rivalry. You have several one future Hall of Famer, I think, in Finn Balor, but I think if we go across the board, there's several in there.
Oh, I think there's several.
There's going to be several future Hall of Famers involved in this whole storyline, where there's enough going on here that, man, there's so much talent. It can carry itself if you let the people just have clean fights.
No, you're not allowed. Now, when you have 24 people in this feud, you have to have shenanigans.
You have to have gang warfare every 5 minutes.
Yep, exactly. Raquel and Liv just gloating about, and I just want to talk about this because I'm actually excited about this match in about less than an hour. I imagine it's going to probably start the show. Raquel and Liv defending the championships against Sonya and Chelsea. Jenks, Ronda's still not cleared. And listen, we both believe that it's going to be Ronda and Shayna getting titles somewhere down the line. Are they going to try making Ronda and Shayna face when they come back? Because wouldn't you get more pumped up, happy Ronda beating the shit out of Sonya and Chelsea? Or am I really just living a pipe dream thinking that it's going to be taken off of Raquel and Liv? Because, listen, if Ronda this is just a whole whirlwind I'm bringing up real quick because I just thought of this. Raquel has already lost to Ronda on her debut. And then again, how many times is Ronda going to be the one that beats Raquel? Essentially solos and or single. I think you have to stop that at some point because right now Raquel is designated a tag team wrestler. She has nothing built up to say, yeah, she can go after Bianca or who the hell is the champion over? Or definitely not Ripley. Yeah, definitely she's not Ripley right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing here. I think it's going to be Ronda and Shayna taking the titles off of Liv and Raquel because they're not going to flip them that easily. I mean, DeVille and Green, you would be in heaven if that happened. But to your point, they've been building up Ronda and Shayna to be heels, and to be honest, they would never become faces because nobody would accept them as faces.
I know.
So it's kind of, but then it's a horse apiece. I don't think Raquel loses it. I think Liv does. Because they would.
That's another loss to Ronda for Liv then.
Exactly. I mean, it's not going to be pretty, but I think they feed Liv because Liv can rebound. Raquel hasn't found her character yet, and nobody's buying this smiley-go-lucky character. At some point, she has to turn into a beast. Yeah, you say it. But that's fair. If she needs to turn into one. How do you do that when she's in a thrown together tag team? She's got to turn on Liv. Even if Liv's a crazy whatever the hell it is, I'm not saying in the match she would turn on her, but like afterwards they try to get a rematch and they lose, and then it's all helpless.
Didn't we just see that with?
We did, but we don't. But we're going to see it again.
We don't remember that it happened. Many people don't remember that it just happened. That somebody turned on Liv.
Yeah. It's amnesia. Everybody's like, yeah, but Liv's that easily to turn on. I mean, Rhea did it to Liv. It's happened so many times, but people need to have amnesia to force these storylines along. That's basically it.
Because God forbid we write or borrow from another storyline.
Well, God forbid we develop an actual tag team division that we don't have to do this every fucking 2 months.
Who said, was it Corey Graves said it?
Yeah.
In a note or on our own podcast or whatever. He actually came out, and I would imagine he got slack from the office that he's like, tag team division just didn't catch on. But then he leaked online. He's like, because we never developed a tag team division for the women.
Mm-hmm. It's accurate.
A tag team pulling for it. Again, I will go back to Sasha and Bayley pulling for these titles. They gave them what they wanted. They had the Iconics. They had a couple other teams that were there.
And they started splitting them up.
Fucking release them all.
You release them or you split them up. That's what you get. You have tag teams down in NXT that you break up again. We've been on this soapbox.
We've been on years. Soapbox
so we won't get down there, but it's fact. You just keep doing this, and you're going to end up with these tired ass storylines because you got to release the talent to get back into the singles competition.
The Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Are you happy to see Shinsuke back?
Who isn't happy to see Shinsuke back? It's a beautiful sight. I mean, the match was nothing.
McAfee though.
I do miss McAfee, but yeah, I'll take it. It wasn't the same without McAfee, but man, seeing that entrance one more time, full music, oh my god, it warmed my heart and heart so much to see that again.
Why is your heart hardened?
I don't know. It was the best way I could describe that. It just warmed my heart.
Bloodline stuff. Of course, it starts with Sammy and KO. Bloodline comes out, sets up a match essentially with Riddle and Solo. I don't like Riddle with these two. I don't like Riddle, period. Everybody knows, oh, here comes Mark Soapbox about Riddle. No, I won't, because if you listen to Can Crushers for as long as we know all of you have, thank you very much on that. You just know that I'm just not a Riddle fan. It's not that I think he's bad it's his facial. He doesn't wear shoes. I just don't like the hippie thing. He's just somebody that, listen, he's been around long enough. I just don't fucking like him. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I just don't like him with KO. I don't think he fits with these guys either.
No, and KO calling out his bullshit
it's awesome.
It was fantastic. But I completely agree with you. It's like they're forcing Riddle onto us because he was in this position before he got suspended, right? He was in the bloodline.
He was
injured. I'm sorry, very injured, very much injured, very much broken spirit, I guess would be the injury. I don't know, but he it's so forced because KO and Sammy are totally different than what Riddle is. You know, they're down to earth, they're gritty. KO is just like a no nonsense kind of guy who will call out the BS as he sees it. You know, Sammy has been trying to work his way back up, work his way to find the family type thing, and he found it in KO again. Riddle's just some freaking stoner that's rolled in off the street and just like, hey dudes, let's do this. And like
I live in a van down by the river. Let me keep your group.
But even then, I think the van down the river might be too good for Riddle. I don't know, because I don't know. It's like he just does. It's just a sore thumb type thing. And I'm really hoping that once we get past Puerto Rico and Backlash, it's done. It's over with. They don't talk to each other. They don't interact anymore. Go back to Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes at least it made sense. They were going after a shared goal at that point. Like, I guess you could say they're doing that with Riddle, but Cody Rhodes was what KO and Sammy are. You would think of them as the professional wrestlers, as in this thing, in the business together. Riddle's not that guy.
No.
Riddle's never been that guy.
Let's stick and stay with Cody then, because Bloodline then transitions to somebody else Monday. But let's stick and stay with Cody real quick, because they forced that we have to. It's Cody Brock. They don't want Cody around the Bloodline and or Sammy and KO, because they're still linked. This is just like Cody forgot that the Bloodline and Roman were a thing.
Yep.
Now it's just Brock. Come on.
That's going back to that short-term storytelling, isn't it?
Is Backlash this needed then? Because really, we don't. It's fucking called WrestleMania Backlash first and foremost. So you're making me WrestleMania Backlash. Oh yeah, WrestleMania. Cody fought Roman. Listen, it's 3 weeks away, or from one to the other. You can't forget that fast.
Yeah.
I would have rather not have Cody had a match, or give Cody Solo that he's got to fight his way back through the Bloodline. Unless we find out tonight, tomorrow, within the next week, that Brock fucking Lesnar is now the honorary Uce. If they give us that spin, maybe I can get it, but that's not happening. If that happens, I don't know.
It's unbelievable. It's not believable at all.
Yeah, it's not.
I think from my perspective is if Brock doesn't talk for the next couple weeks, they have this match, Cody somehow beats Brock. What if Brock just comes out and is like, now I've toughened you up for the Bloodline, now you can go get Roman, or some bullshit like that? Could they play that off? Maybe, but I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't like it, but I mean, you know what I mean? It's at least it's more believable than him forgetting about the bloodline, forgetting about his father, the title that he's been chasing for so long, just because Roman's not even here.
Right.
You know, that's
Roman's only on the phone for the next.
Roman's only on the phone for the next month. Exactly. So that's more. It's more believable that Brock's just being like stupid mentor cowboy fuck. And then that's highly unbelievable. But it's kind of more believable than we just forgot about my family's legacy, forgot about everything that just happened at WrestleMania and all the emotional toll it took.
There's more than one family in wrestling. Oh, wait, no, there's Brock Lesnar.
That's a whole family. Brock is a whole family, 6 people. Technically, he is a wrestling family if you count Sable. Let's just say it. But
so that's SmackDown. As we transition to Raw, the Bloodline is now working with Judgment Day, and I'm like, are you kidding me? What are we doing? Why are we getting this? It is nothing but pea soup now. And I'm like, this is not good. And I have a lot to say about this, but I do have to get this out before you say anything else. Finn Balor is not the fucking leader of this anymore. Finn Balor is 4th in line. And if Dom would get another girlfriend, Finn would drop to 5th.
yeah, this is mommy's group.
Yeah.
You didn't like it. I kind of did.
I like the whole. I think Solo and Ripley want to go on a date type of deal thing that they have going on.
I love that stare down.
Yeah.
And that fucking what was happening awesome. There. That was fantastic.
I just we needed a big guy, meaning Priest, to kind of fill in for the no Roman being there, to be standing next to Solo and the Usos or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it was just, there was weirdness around it. And the only thing for me, like, Dom did nothing. The only thing I really loved was the Solo and Ripley thing.
Yeah. For me, I love that Priest was kind of the negotiator of the whole. So it's making me think Rhea's the number one. Damien's the right-hand man. He's essentially Jey Uso in this whole group. Dom and Finn are just hanging about doing whatever they need to do. But I liked it because it was a different way to get where they needed to go. I thought this was more intriguing in the sense of, okay, we got 2 heel factions trying to negotiate terms. You know what I mean? And trying to take out common enemies, trying to help each other to take out common enemies. So I thought that aspect was kind of cool. Kind of playing back, it didn't really work back then, but when I think of like Dungeon and Doom and the Horsemen back in like early 96, where they were kind of going back and forth, like your problem's my problem's your problem, that type of thing, kind of brings it back to that old school.
Mind me off air, I have something to tell you. Bring up Dungeon and Doom again.
Okay.
I cannot release this on air.
Okay, that's fine. But to my point is, it kind of a la brought that back where 2 heel factions are negotiating. You help me with my problem, I'll help you with yours. I like that. It's almost like it turns it into more. I'm a big mafia movie guy, so this turns it into a mafia families trying to negotiate.
Touché.
Help me with my business, I'll help you with your business, and we'll be fine. That type of thing. And that's kind of where my mind went to with this. That's kind of where I went to, and I'm like, okay, I'll buy this for the night. Let's see how this goes.
So, it went exactly how
you thought it would.
Yeah, not even thinking mafia wise, but you knew as listen, being a wrestling fan is good and bad because you understand some of the storylines right off the bat. You knew what was going to happen. You knew that Ray was going to get his ass beat, but Judgment Day was going to get their ass beat.
Yeah.
So I did like that. I really did. Like the whole, again, the Solo Ray match, I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Shenanigans, which again led to the main event, shenanigans.
Even more shenanigans.
Yeah.
14 groups worth of shenanigans at that point.
I know. Everybody was out. This was like a mini battle royal.
Honestly, if they would just take Backlash and turn it into gang warfare match, and I don't even know how they would do it, just have 4 teams go at it. What is it? Who is it? No, way better than DOA, Boricua and Nation when they did that whole shit. Just have them go for it.
I agree.
I would love that. I mean, we know. I think we would know the Bloodline would come out as winners in that, but at the same time, it'd be just so fucking. Just make it a chaotic.
And you can find another team to throw. Jesus Christ, we're making teams week in and week out.
Right.
So yeah, you could throw some. Oh, the male models.
Yeah.
Otis finally joins them and.
Do the male models and Gable, make it a 4-pack and just send them in there, and Gable gets sacrificed to the lambs or something like that in it. Yeah.
And that's when Otis decides he's going to stay.
Yep, exactly. And they all run off, and the male models run off and do a photo shoot afterwards, and Gable's the only one left out there.
None of this is happening, folks. So
it's not. But see, if this is why we don't.
It would be better.
It would be a hell of a lot better. It makes sense. I'd be intrigued, but
intrigued by all
Backlash,
that.
but.
When are we pulling the trigger on this whole Gable, Maxine, Otis thing? Like, listen, this is a mid to lower card thing. It can't last 6 months.
I would have thought they would pull the trigger by now, right?
Right.
What are you waiting for?
This was weeks prior to WrestleMania. Now we're 3 weeks after WrestleMania.
We're extending this. If they don't pull the trigger by Backlash, what are we going to do? Are we waiting until Saudi Night of Champions? Yeah, Night of Champions. Maybe they would not put the male models as the models for that photo shoot in Saudi, but I don't know. Mansoor, but yeah, you know what? That's actually a good point. Otis helps. What if it's Mansoor and what's Mace's name? Is it Moss or Masse versus Alpha Academy? Otis turns on Gable in Saudi. There you go. There it is.
So we got 5 more weeks.
There's your money for Saudi show. You thought it was King of the Ring? No, they took that out. It's this.
This is your main event.
Brock's not going. This is your main event. Everybody's there for Otis.
I loved Bianca and Dakota. Love this match. I really want Damage Control just to break up so that all 3 of them can go their own way.
Yep.
It will only benefit them. I love all 3 of them. It just Damage Control's done. Like it I don't even care how they're gonna split anymore. This needs to happen too, right? I just Dakota is so, and I've been saying this. I've been saying this since she turned on Tegan and all the way. Yeah,
we have. Yeah,
like this was a huge match for her. She lost, but she won because people were like, "Holy shit! I didn't watch Dakota in NXT. Look what she can do by herself." She hasn't had that spotlight match. This was kind of it.
This was exactly it, and Io's going to have hers in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That it's the showcase for these two.
Io's been champion though.
Io has been champion, you're right. But at the same time, main roster, again, we talked about the wholly different beast. This is going to be a showcase for her. If you don't think Bianca versus Io is going to steal the show, or at least relatively get close to stealing the show, you're bonkers, because it will. It's going to be probably one of, if not the best match on that card.
We can wait for a prediction, so we can just throw it out there and we can change as much as we want, but is that where they drop Bianca?
Maybe, because that would create a whole lot of interesting going on between Damage Control, especially if they don't split up 2 of them, or if they split up none of them, and it still
stirs the pot.
It stirs the pot. Now you're like, okay, what the fuck just happened? Now who's taking what? Bailey's going to get jealous of Io. The things are going to be burning.
Bianca can get drafted, and then you can get. Listen, I'm behind a triple threat match between Damage Control for that title. Then
Yeah. Let him have at it.
And then Bianca goes to SmackDown.
Would Rhea come back to Raw?
I don't know. I don't know if you need her there. I think you need to have Bianca. I'm saying the title's off of Bianca. I'm saying Bianca get ready to set up SummerSlam or something there.
I think, to that point, I guess you do have Becky still on Raw. You have a lot of notable women still on Raw to make that work. Yeah, you could move Bianca. I just don't see
Flair could be drafted to Raw and not come back to SummerSlam.
That's true. Or she could just be declared a free agent. They don't even bother with drafting and just assign her wherever the hell they want to. I think to that point is, do they really resist the temptation for a year long for Bianca and Rhea? I don't think they would. I think you'd have to keep them separate to make it to Mania next year, in my opinion, if that's the way they're going, which I think it should be.
It should be.
And I think Bianca should win the Rumble. Because we talked about this, Rhea dominates, gets it. I think Bianca could at least win the Rumble or win the Chamber match or something. Because then it's just a crash course to two women going at it. Two of the strongest women in WWE going at it and beating the shit out of each other, really.
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
I think it'd be, but I'll be the advocate for, it could be a twofold. That, listen, Bianca has, and this is why I'm saying maybe SummerSlam, she gets injured. Bianca's been 3 years without a break. She could take SummerSlam to Rumble off.
Yeah.
Win that Rumble, as you said. Get that second shot. Essentially like Rhea did.
Mm-hmm. And she's going after SmackDown title.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just, you give us that taste at SummerSlam, and Rhea's way too hot to do any. I mean, at SummerSlam, Rhea's way too hot at SummerSlam to have her drop it. Mm-hmm. So she decimates Bianca, and she's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca gets her much needed time off because she's carried the women's division on Raw for that long, and I'm okay with it. Come back. That's your surprise win for Rumble.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like that way it goes. I want to go back to Damage Control, though, where we talked about it a little bit. Io taking the title off. Let's just say she doesn't take the title. So let's say Bianca keeps it, retains. I think there's still the interesting dynamic of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match where everything blows up there as well, because if all three of them are in the match, all three are trying to get the briefcase, there's going to be infighting. There's going to be a lot of shenanigans there. And then you're going to see like Bayley and Io at SummerSlam, or all three at SummerSlam in a triple threat, and Damage Control explodes. The possibilities are kind of endless in that regard. They have the women's division. They have the competitors in line for the women's division in singles competition.
If done right. Yeah.
Yeah, our way. But if done right, they can't figure out the tag team, but they can figure out the singles division. They know how to produce those one-on-one storylines to the live long end. But yeah,
we chatted. Like, I don't have a lot to say about Brock and Cody. Like, it was
not much.
Yeah. They scuffled. The security got them out. The match was made for Backlash.
Yep.
Rollins and Miz was a great match. Match. Amazing match. I loved everything about it. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Do you want anything to say about that? I mean, I don't know where we go with Rollins and Miz.
I think it was a one-off match, but again, I think it was a very good match. It was very complimentary. I've heard it this week. I've seen it read this week that a lot of people in the back love that match, but that's what you get for two consummate professionals just going at it and doing business.
I think it could lead to, they were testing to see when Rollins maybe gets a title.
Yep.
I mean, listen, Miz can always be a number one contender. Like, those two fucking hate each other. Perfect. Throw them together. You're going to get magic, like you saw. Like, this was in the middle of Raw match.
Yeah, it wasn't even in a main event.
This was a good match for there. Bob and Theory, again, I really like this match. Again, they're both doing stuff. It got even better when fucking Reed came out and killed everybody.
Yep.
I'm telling you, if Bronson Reed is not U.S. champion within the next month, I'm going to be mad.
I would agree. Now that they've had him come out, attack, they're putting him on the platform to success right now. And if they're doing anything with Theory at Money in the Bank or anything of that nature,
yeah, it needs to be off of them.
It needs to be off of them. Give me Lashley and Reed for the U.S. title for several months. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Every day. Take that every day.
I want to skip this and talk about essentially the same thing. Liv and Raquel came out. Nikki Cross in the crowd. Blah, 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 blah. The draft starts next week. And we kind of talked about Judgment Day and KO, Sammy, Riddle, all that again. So, Trish Stratus. What were your thoughts on this? Because, listen, again, it is Bent Boards and Amnesia. It's going to be, and I have to figure out, Amnesia. But I hated everything about it, but go ahead.
I think the point she made fit the rivalry that they're taking, right? So we got to be honest here. We've had this conversation on here before where the contributions that you think Trish has made are not as significant. And I would tend to agree, but I will also put into the category, Lita and Trish did open some doors for women's wrestling to kind of be in WWE taken seriously in that regard.
But
that's where
it stops.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because the rest of that whole era, listen, Trish and Lita were leading the pack. I understand. They had some great matches together. Mm-hmm. But the rest of that era, kiss my ass match, lick my ass match, bra and panty match,
evening gown, yeah.
Listen, so that's where don't come in and like the whole Amnesia thing, like Sasha and Bayley. I'll go back on this is my the soapbox for like Sasha and Bayley were not the first ever WWE Tag Team Champions.
No, they weren't.
Jumping Bomb Angels, Leilani Kai, and we can go way back.
Yep.
They just want you to forget history. There's youngsters that don't know Trish and what Trish did in her era.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's regurgitating whatever she wants to make her sound like the bad guy, I understand that. But don't forget about it. That's all I want. I want Becky next week to come back and show some of this footage and say, because listen, guys, this is a match at SummerSlam, essentially made. I want Becky to say, you were a legend because of this, and she's naked with Vince or whatever. Are they going to do that? Probably not, because listen, there's ratings now, and there's like PG ratings and everything. I did like saying that she's not a sidekick. And admitted to beating lead in the back. We called that right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
It takes balls for her to say that she is the most important legend. And I understand this is all fucking scripted. And this is exactly what they want. Mark to go off and be so mad. You have to imagine, though, that John Cena's like, you let her say that? Mm-hmm. Or somebody that I don't like, Batista, you let her say that, Randy Orton, I'm the most important wrestling figure ever out of WWE? Know your role. And I didn't even mean that. That just perfect. I just didn't like it. Come out and bash Becky as much as you want. Don't fucking forget where he came from.
I would agree with that, but I will also say it did its fucking job, didn't it?
It did. It really
You're pissed.
I'm fucking heated.
You're heated about it. I'm thinking about this is bitch Trish 2004, 2005 Trish Stratus, where you just could not stand to see her face week to week when she was embarrassing Alita, like during the Kane wedding, that was an embarrassment of its own, but she came out in like lingerie and white and said, "Oh, you can't wear white, but I can," and things of that nature. But just fucking spitting in like people's faces and that's what she was known for. And to see it come back in 2023, making that point and saying, "Fuck you guys, I'm the greatest fucking thing walking around here," and having that arrogant, egotistical bitch status with it, it did its fucking job, and it's okay. I'm buying it because I think that's how she has carried herself, and I think, not saying she's not a nice person or anything, but probably for the past 20 years, she could walk around and make that claim, and maybe that's what she's actually thought for 20 years. I don't know, but it pissed you off. Sold you money. It sold you tickets. Watch Becky kick her ass at WrestleMania. SummerSlam, yeah.
WrestleMania 2. Which, I will say this, they gave the storyline and the victor and everything away already for this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you should have released that she, like, we thought it, but don't acknowledge it yet that she was the one to take out Lita.
Yeah.
Until maybe after the match. Clearly she's not around after SummerSlam, but SummerSlam's still fucking 3 months away. We got a lot of talking.
Why couldn't we do it 2 weeks out from SummerSlam? Or, you know what I mean? Play the card of, I don't know what happened to Lita.
Now coming back for this match.
Yeah, play the card of, I have evidence that Becky did it. Or start planting these false seeds that it was Becky that did this to Lita. Make people start believing, have Lita come back the week before and say, "No, it was fucking you, bitch." Or it was like, or have Becky produce something. Start planting the seeds. Play that game. That makes total sense.
I beat her ass.
I beat her ass. And then you have the reveal and you're like, yeah, it was me. Shawn and Triple H back in 2002 with that whole thing. Yeah, it was me, Shawn. I did it, and he'd do it again in a heartbeat or whatever. Do that fucking story. Play that card a little bit here. I think they had it.
They did.
To your point, why release
everything away? Like
now we have no fuel for this for 3 months outside of I just kicked Becky's ass. Unless it's going to be a quick burn and we're getting a turnaround here in the next month or two. I don't know.
Do we get this match actually before SummerSlam? And then, listen, are we getting Lita and Trish at SummerSlam? Are they going to spin it on us?
Maybe, but I
want to see that.
I don't know if I want to see Lita and Trish at SummerSlam.
Right.
But I could see them pulling Becky and Trish at Saudi because they did Becky and Lita for the women's title at Saudi.
Right.
So that speeds it up immediately. It gets you to that point, and maybe that's it. Trish was only booked through the Saudi show, and that's where we're carrying it to.
Yeah, because Trish hasn't been to Saudi. She hasn't gotten a big payday.
Exactly.
I'm not saying, listen, it's
not saying that's the reason, but yeah. It seems to be the logical explanation here.
I don't know. I don't
know either.
All in all, though, I enjoyed WWE as a whole. There's some stuff that I was like, listen, I just bitched about the Trish thing. It grinded my goat. I actually love it, but just remember where you're from. That's all. Just remember.
Or in very misogynistic terms, know your role. Based on Mark.
I didn't mean it like that. But WWE, yeah. But let's swing it to this now, Jenks. As we said, the draft is coming up.
Yeah.
We can play with the draft maybe next week. But releases are also coming up. Like, I really have a feeling releases are coming up. And I think we're going to get some notable releases. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bray Wyatt isn't one of them. And I actually mean that one this time. Because I don't know if you can grab anything with him again right now and say, we're excited to have you back. Because this run hasn't been... When we were guessing who the people were, that's what was more exciting.
Yeah.
This match wasn't great, and nothing has come out of it again.
I think with Bray, everything's stalled with the sale, and with Vince, the linking and Vince being in control again. And I think Bray was just like, you know what, I don't fucking need this. I'm gonna check out of this. It's not worth it. And let's be honest, Bobby versus Bray wasn't exactly.
I wasn't buying a ticket for that.
Well, I wasn't buying the ticket for that either. It wasn't something that was kind of like, oh my God, yeah, that's what I want. Nobody wanted that, but that was the only thing they had at the time for both of them. And I think it was a lose-lose situation for whoever's involved. Now, Bray legitimately had an injury at that point with his hand. It was broke. Right. So maybe that was the grace of God saying, we're not doing this. Kind of like when it was supposed to be him and Brock, and his back was injured during that time, and he couldn't wrestle that. He's still going to get the pop wherever he shows up.
Agreed.
He's still making you money, so you can still run with it. But I think Bray has reached a point where you can only run with it with certain individuals.
Yep. Yeah.
What are those certain individuals, and can we make it not gimmicky in nature? Because I think that takes away from it a lot too. Because the Pitch Black match, now he's only known
Bray anymore. I think it's got to be gimmicky.
Is it gimmicky until he can carry himself in a ring again? Or is it gimmicky till the end? Like, I don't know.
I think this caricature of Bray is more of the gimmicky than he's ever been. Like, I know he's had the puppets and everything that he did in the Funhouse, but like this, we were pumped for it. When they came alive, it turned to something different. And listen, none of them have done anything but Howdy. But why isn't he even around? We understand that Bray is hurt, and he's got a broken arm or hand or whatever. Can't you do an interview? And I'm going to pull the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa thing. Can't you be interviewed? And why can't Howdy be running amok, causing your feuds in something? Like, there's a lot not gelling here.
Do we get really deep with it and we go back to this is Bray's fractured mind at work? Because we talked about this when it first came out. It seems like everything's gone now. Howdy's gone. The Funhouse is gone. Alexa got kidnapped at Rumble. You know, that's part of his fractured mind as well. The man has Horcruxes, if you want to be Harry Potter-esque with it, in these characters right now. So maybe it's his fractured mind, and when the main mind is gone, the fractures go away with it. And maybe that's kind of where they're playing with it is, okay, Bray's injured. We can't have everybody here because they're part of his mind, but you don't want to outright say that either because that gives away. I don't think that does a service, but the fans have to perceive it. And it's like watching a TV show where you can see the person that's schizophrenic or that's talking to 5 different people in his mind, but the people in the show don't know what's going on and just think he's nuts. Right?
Right.
You know, I think that's kind of where they're kind of playing with it here. That's at least where I take it.
No,
I take the deep down. Now. But maybe it's too logical. Maybe I put too much thought into it, but I don't have anything else better to do during the week than think about wrestling at night. So, you know, whatever. But that's kind of where my head goes, is maybe it's just they're really laying it on as it's a splinter of his mind. And when his mind's gone, so do the characters go.
Okay. But do you see anybody? Do you see anybody being released?
I would say they're trying their best not to release talent that they think either can make them money or that they just brought back. So like Braun and Ricochet are just a tag team thrown together, but they're making it work enough. And honestly, I think this was more of a punishment for Braun for his high flyer indie comments way back when.
Yeah.
But it's being made to work, so it's working out fine for them. I think it's going to come down to is Where's Roderick Strong at? We haven't heard from him in a long time. I don't know if his contract actually came up or if it's not even close yet. I thought it was coming up this year at some point, but I could be wrong. But maybe it's a Roderick Strong type character. So maybe it's a lot of guys that are in NXT that they were looking to get further along.
Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews is a good one. He just had a good match not too long ago, but what's he actually doing down there? It's just the veteran talent.
And his other buddy, too, that carried the stick with him. Because Apollo Crews and him are not together anymore.
Yeah, General Azim or whatever his name is, which they brought him in to be a big guy, and he hasn't done anything but that, really.
Omos.
I don't think they give it to Omos. You don't give the Brock match, and then you don't put him with MVP, and then go, you know what? Fuck Omos.
See you later.
Get the fuck out of here. But I think it's guys like that. I don't think they.
I mean, and let me say this, and I'm not saying it mean, but can you get rid of women? And I'm not saying it sexually or anything. Like, your women's roster is depleted because of injuries.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You don't even have a tag team division to put together. You can't really start cutting women.
Right.
When I think I don't think they can touch the women, and I'm not saying that like you were saying it.
Or any project. I'm saying because they don't fucking have enough of them.
They don't have enough of them. You think there's probably maybe 40 women on the roster, but that's not enough to carry a full tag division, 2 full tag divisions, 3 full contributors, contender. I don't know where the fuck that mind went. Contenders along this. It's just not there. The men, you have over 100 men probably in the company that you can spread about and do whatever you need to do with. The women, they're a little stretched thin on there, and that's why you're seeing them lean a lot more heavily on the Hall of Famers coming in and having storylines, because they're still trying to reestablish what those are.
Would you? All right, I like all that. I'm going to shift gears now real quick, and then we're going to take a break and head to AEW. Would you be happy if the women's tag titles vanished and we got 2 mid-card titles in? One for each brand, whatever, however you want to say it. Maybe the United States Women's Champion or National Women. They probably can't use National because that's NWA. Or the IC Women's Champion and the US Women's Champion. This way, I still, as I'm watching Sonya and Chelsea and Raquel and knowing that Cora and Roxy are probably knocking on the door to come up, if not Gigi and I don't want any of them to come up because I think what they're doing in NXT is amazing. But listen, they need to at some point. The same thing with, like, can't you award Nat with listen, you know how much I hate, and it's not hate, I'm just tired of Nat. But give Nat a US title or Carmella or, for relevancy, because there's times, where the fuck is Tegan Nox again? Where the fuck is Shotzi again? Can't they get back together? They're still number 1 contenders. They still get a match. Right now they hate each other. Like, there's just so much. I think if they scrapped the tag titles and they brought in a women's US and women's IC, you'd get more. And I'm always advocating for something different for the women because, again, 3 hours, we get 1 women's match for 7 fucking minutes.
Yeah. I would say yes, but I would retain the NXT version of the women's tag title. And here's why. Because they have been having consistent teams down in NXT despite breaking up women. Foster a tag team division in NXT right now. Build that up. Do what you need to do to get a solidified division. Have the women have the individual titles. Then what do? You bring that up to the main roster. You draft the teams out, but you take the women's tag team titles and you take it across to all 3 brands. Yes. Link them all in. That way, you can have those tag team rivalries. You can have a second women's segment, which is tag team dedicated, and it works for them. That would have been perfect. I never understood the NXT women's tag team titles and the main roster women's tag team titles. It should have been.
They were supposed to float.
They were supposed to float, and then they separated them. No, just keep it one straight tag team title that goes across all three brands. I think it would be so much better for them.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe controversial, but maybe do it for the men's too. Because the men's division, outside of Sammy, KO, and Usos, it's not better.
We talked about Roman and Braun. I mean, Braun and Ricochet. The Viking Raiders, the Street Profits are breaking up. They told us that.
Yep.
On the draft.
Yes. The writing's on the wall for them. There's a lot of teams where they're just starting to splinter off, so you're not going to have that many men's tag teams.
Nope.
Make it one men's tag team title, one women's tag team title, float them across brands. You'll get the notoriety for NXT if you have a team like the Usos or like even the New Day when Kofi's back, float down, compete for the tag team titles. Gallus up, bring them up to the main roster. You're starting to float these teams around. Then if you want to break one of them up down the line, you say both of these guys are really good. We shouldn't keep them as a tag team. A la Street Profits are a perfect example of this. Then you can break them up and people already know who they are.
Yep.
So I think that's the best scenario for it. You'll have the two mid-card titles for the men, the big titles for the men, same for the women, and the tag team titles just float. And it makes the most sense.
We're geniuses. We are.
We always are. I mean,
I know.
Tony Khan was paying us, not really, but he was stealing our ideas for a while there.
He was stealing our ideas. That's not a lie. All right. Speaking of Tony Khan, I went to Dynamite in Pittsburgh.
You went to Dynamite?
Dynamite! Let's talk about it after this break.
Let's do it.
Hey, this is Base Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to the Out of the World podcast of Can Crushers.
Welcome back, Can Crushers, to the third segment. AEW that had a live reporter in the audience for it. Mark.
If you want to call me a live...
I'm going to call you a reporter for this. So, you were live and living color and in person for this whole festivities.
I wish. You know what I want on us, Engine? I think I want to find the box set of In Living Color.
Oh, that would be a hell of a find.
Right?
Yeah.
I loved In Living Color. Maybe that's what I need to search up tonight and watch. But you're right. I was in Pittsburgh for Dynamite this week, and me and Mr. Galbo went down and met Soup there as well. So it starts off right off the bat. Pulled in a parking garage that we weren't supposed to park in, but we were waved into. So it was a hospital parking garage, by the way.
So wait a minute. How did you get waved into the parking garage?
He's looking directly at us, and I'm like, oh, he wants us in there. All right. So I thought he was waving us in there. Apparently he was telling us to get the fuck going. So I pull in the parking garage. He's like, what are you doing? And it's the one and of course you can't see us, but the Peterson's right here.
Oh yeah.
Hospital parking garage is right there. You skip to it. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. How are these not full? Well, it's because it's a hospital and you're not supposed to be parking there, Mark. But he waved me in. All right, so I pull in. What are you doing here? You just told me to park here. I don't know the guy's name, whatever. Give me $20, just don't park in a reserved one. I don't know where this $20 went. But we gave him $20 and we parked there because it was going to be cheaper to park there than anywhere else.
Well, that $20 went into his pocket for sure.
Oh, I would imagine. And he told us, hey, if the gate doesn't lift when you leave, just lift it up yourself. Okay, illegal parking.
It was legal. You paid your dues.
Yeah, I paid my dues. So we were in and out of there, and we pulled in, literally walked up the steps. We were in the Pete. When we decided to leave, we walked down the steps. We got in the car and we drove out before anybody was even fucking out of the stadium. Why isn't anybody else parking here? Oh, it's the hospital. Okay.
They don't have as many connections as you.
This is Mark the Mark from Can Crushers.
I think that's exactly it. He took you for a ride too. He charged you $20 just to get it because you were famous. That's all it was.
I'm all right with that. And it's cool because everybody knows, like, when you go to WWE, AEW events, you have like the local indie circuit people there as well. This is in Pittsburgh. I kind of know people in Pittsburgh. So they're always passing out their promo stuff. None of them would give me stuff. They're like, you are our camera guy. You do a podcast about us. We know you're coming. I'm not wasting it. So I couldn't get free promo stuff because they all know me.
But let's take the real piece of this story that you want to say but not say. Just flexing on us that I don't need the promo stuff because I work there.
Yeah, because I work
there.
They
know me. I don't need the promo stuff.
I don't need the promo stuff.
They know me.
Yeah. An amazing event once again, and I don't know if people know this, but it started at 6:45 instead of 7.
Well, did they record? What did they record first then?
ROH.
Oh, I did see that they flipped. Okay.
They recorded ROH from 6:45 to 7:50ish. They have to change the ring.
Yep.
Then Dynamite comes on. Change the ring again for Rampage.
So I thought they were doing multiple. I should probably start watching ROH now. I thought they did multiple ROHs and then released them like 2 weeks out. Well, then come back and then.
I think they do. That's why I kind of don't want to go. There was some stuff that happened that I want to see when this kind of comes out. No title changes or anything, but clearly going to set up a title match. Some people from Pittsburgh were involved. I thought ROH was recorded a couple weeks ahead of time and then slowly released, like you said. So, yeah, we'll see. But that was a good taping.
Yeah.
Really a good taping.
Nice.
Athena was on it. Why can't I remember ROH? I know it was Athena was showcased. I'll put it that way on it.
Okay.
Brian Cage was on it. Yeah, a good ROH when it comes out. Really, really.
I believe that.
Dynamite. And let me jump right to Rampage, okay? And then we'll come back. We'll cover Dynamite, of course. There is, ROH, you're excited, you're there, you're excited, you're getting ready for Dynamite. So that hour goes by really quick. The 2 hours for Dynamite is over in 15 minutes. Man, when you do that break for about 10 minutes to switch over from Rampage, something fucking happens. Because, listen, we're not getting the backstage stuff. Whatever they're adding to Rampage, you don't see. So that hour of matches is really only half an hour or 40 minutes. Not even. Those matches just drag so long. And listen, I can't tell you about the main event. First and foremost, it's on tonight between the Son of a Viking and Count Dracula, or where we bailed. It was Rampage just got rough, even with FTR and the whole everything that happens there. Like, it was rough, and that's why we don't cover it a lot. I hate to say it. It's a rough hour to watch.
Yeah.
Plus, there's no fucking consistency. It's now on Saturday night at 10 o'clock.
Oh, it's bouncing around because of the playoffs and that now. So it's bouncing around like a basketball at this point. But
I enjoyed it. I would probably trickle out Cleveland, Cincinnati. When it's in my vicinity to go, I will go because it's a great time. Like I said, the 2 hours of Dynamite, whatever you pay for your ticket is clearly worth it. It's just so fast, but you don't know when you're on a commercial or not until you come home and watch. You're like, oh shit, that wasn't on air. And it's just crazy. But do you have the rundown? Do you want to just go via that, or
I got a rundown. Well, why don't we play off of what you experienced there? Well, I have the rundown, so we can go in order if you want. But what do you experience or whatever? Well, let me ask you this: with the pillars, the 4 pillars at the start of the show, what did you think of that? Like, what was the grand reception? Because you could hear things, you could see things. I don't know. From my perspective, it seemed like they were trying to trade barbs, but it really wasn't. To me, it wasn't resonating too much, like, between it. I don't know what you saw there.
Actually, Darby got, out of all of them, / MJF when he did come out, but out of the other 3, Darby got the biggest pop.
Agreed.
The biggest. Yeah. Everybody loves singing with Jungle Boy. We couldn't, first and foremost, there was about 75 microphones throughout the night, and this is no lie. There was like 75 microphones. Dasha always had the worst one. We couldn't hear Dasha introduce anybody all night. So anybody that grabbed Dasha's mic was fucked. Jungle Boy grabbed Dasha's mic. Couldn't tell you what he said. Sammy and Darby had gotten them from, Captain Jack or whoever on the side. Heard them great. So you couldn't hear Jungle Boy. Darby, everybody was just happy to see. Sammy's an asshole, so he did his job right. People were chanting asshole. I think they wanted Jungle Boy to get the love out of this. He didn't. Darby did. In studio, in home, in stadium, Darby got the love.
Darby, I think, in my mind, got the love for the most part. Because, I mean, the other 2 were kind of like just bantering, same story, back and forth type thing. Darby was the unique one out of this all. It was like Darby was showcased more than the other 2 were. You're right. Sammy was his typical asshole, but even then he wasn't even that typical of an asshole in his promo. He was just telling his story. Yeah. So I think overall, from what I saw, Darby got over, but again, it did not resonate too much. And I don't think it got where they wanted it to.
I don't think this should. Listen, they have started the show for 5 weeks now, essentially.
Yeah.
They have to stop starting the show. Even Roman doesn't start the show all the time. You sprinkle.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know they probably got tired of it, and that's why they started putting the pillars to begin the show. Throw Orange Cassidy in a title defense at the beginning of the show. That's still going to be entertaining as fuck. People are still watching that. That can get at least the crowd hot. Or start the tag team and go. Let me jump back. Actually, I thought TNT title right out the gate would have been your biggest thing. Have Wardlow come get the hometown pop type thing. But again, we're jumping around here. Let's jump to this. But I think the Arn Anderson piece of it needed to be introduced before you could even get to the ring, and with that,
it did. But
yeah.
Well, no, there's no way. If Arn was just making his comeback tonight, there was no possible way to do it.
Yeah.
But I would have thought, and no disrespect to both of them, they're both Pittsburgh wrestlers or whatever, and I'll spoil it right now. Britt got the bigger pop over Wardlow. Britt's always going to get it. But Wardlow didn't end up getting a huge pop besides the people from IWC, because everybody popped for Britt the match before.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 needed separated.
Yep.
Big time. Because they were still on a high for Britt. Wardlow kind of got the leftover until he got the win.
Yeah.
Then everybody went fucking crazy.
Right. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't even think of it from that aspect. When you waste the energy and not waste the energy, but it's best terminology I can think of right now, waste the energy of the crowd, the match before with the actual hometown girl. Wardlow's from Cleveland, if I'm not wrong. He's just IWC.
Home is
IWC. And they explained that on the broadcast. Don't get me wrong. They explained, Wardlow wrestled in the Indies here. They even name-checked IWC during it. They brought it up. But when you take it, Britt's going to suck the life out of the crowd in a very good way, because they want Britt. They love Britt. They love eating it up with Britt. So, and when they win, they're going to there's going to be a hangover going into Wardlow's match. And that's what happened here. So, I mean, It seemed like they woke up at the end with Wardlow's big win.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
after Wardlow's win, everybody went nuts. But it was like, oh shit, Wardlow, but we're just over Brett. So yeah,
they needed almost that bathroom break type. Give me a break to get me.
Almost, and I understand that this story is just clicking with him and Hobbs now, but maybe instead of Wardlow beating the shit out of the car last week, which we see over and over, having Arn with him, Wardlow could have driven Bigfoot, the monster truck, over Vince McMahon himself. And it was like, you put Arn Anderson with Wardlow, now shit is going. And people like, oh, and the whole like, we're playing chess now. What are we getting out of this, Jenks?
Yeah.
This is the question to you now. Are we getting a new Four Horsemen with the Wardlow? I mean, we've
maybe
about this, but like, this is Arn's idea now.
Now who do we start name checking for this group is going to be the key, or is there something bigger at play here that we don't know about? And does it tie into people that just came in, maybe started a new version of an existing group in New Japan?
Yeah, because the fucking Glock was out.
The Glock was out. Honestly, I kind of wish now Arn Anderson debuted last week and shot the tires out of the fucking car.
Right. You got that one, yes.
I got Mark, just start popping the tires out of the car. But it now I think we're wishing too much on this one with Bullet Club Gold, but with Wardlow, and then you got the Glock wheel and Arn Anderson. My God in heaven, perfect combo in that aspect.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but it makes perfect sense.
But it just ties it. Well, let's also break this down a little bit more for Wardlow. He didn't also benefit from the BCC and the Elite going at it beforehand. And Takeshita comes.
Yeah.
Alice gets Takeshita to come out. You're screwed at that point, even because they've got a really big pop.
Another huge pop.
Yeah. That was something I was not expecting Takeshita to come out. I mean, we knew Callis was trying to recruit him.
Right. We didn't think it was ever going to be pulled off.
Yeah, exactly. So now where does this go? Is this Anarchy in Arena with the Elite Takeshita versus BCC now at Double or Nothing?
It's got to, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they're going to have a 4-on-4 match at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. And does somebody turn? Does somebody... Because listen, doesn't Takeshita kind of fit the BCC a little bit more? I think so. Like, he could be that silent assassin.
I think so too, but I'm also thinking there's something else at play here with Callis.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what it is, and it's involving Takeshita, because why bring him out? Now we're gonna force Takeshita down Omega's throat. This is your new best friend. You use him. That's gonna be the whole thing for the next month.
Yep.
So what's the play here? Is it really Callis is working with BCC, or is he working with somebody else? Is this part of the Four Horsemen thing?
Make me throw up.
Well,
mouth.
Well, then let's pull the New Japan connection.
That's more.
Is that the actual play here?
Yeah, I would think the New Japan.
The New Japan connection makes sense.
To screw over Omega and the Bucks.
Yep. Sets up Forbidden Door, where you have a New Japan connection to Takeshita.
And then we can slide Hangman in with Omega and the Bucks.
Yep. Exactly. You're starting to play that card a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that being the case.
There's a lot going on.
There's a shit ton going on.
There's a month and a half that you don't think there's enough time because there's a lot of stories out there, but there's so much time that there's integral details to everything. Because, listen, I'm really excited for a mixed match tag team match that's probably set up.
It's coming.
Boom!
How
people were, I don't know if you could hear this, people were livid that Pittsburgh's baby girl got decimated in the boyfriend who was I don't know which one handcuffed Adam Cole, by the way, because they don't know how to use handcuffs.
Yeah, oh, no, God, no. I tried to block that whole thing out. I knew his handcuff.
Lost his hand the way that he was handcuffed on there. They were livid.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh's baby girl. But you just soak that up. Like, that's Tony Khan rolling in money.
That's the heat they desperately needed, and he knew it. He knew sacrifice Pittsburgh Golden Girl in the middle of Pittsburgh,
and you're going to get it. Does wonders for Saraya and Jericho, because as we've been speaking in the last couple of weeks, neither one's carrying a match anymore.
Yep.
I don't care what MJF thinks about. Was that on there, by the way? MJF saying you think Britt Baker's
talented? Yeah, that was. Yeah.
All right. Because I didn't watch Dynamite yet. I will watch it at some point to see if you can see and I know you can't see myself.
I looked very hard. I didn't think I saw you, but there was one time at the beginning I thought I saw you, and then I'm like, that's not him for sure.
I had my old school Britt Baker shirt on.
That's not okay. I was like, I saw Pitt sweaters and that, and I'm like, is he wearing Pitt stuff? I would have thought wrestling, but who knows?
The original Britt Baker shirt, Britsburg.
Okay.
Yeah. As we said, Saraya and Jericho are not carrying matches. Mm-hmm. Britt and Adam can.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this now. And again, it takes Saraya away from the title, which we don't think that she needs to be around. But who's getting it? Who's going to, what's up with Jamie?
Yep.
Because now you're making this title irrelevant for one of your big pay-per-views.
You have to start building it back up. Is mixed tag going to happen before the pay-per-view? And these are two matches coming out of it. I mean, that would make sense if this is a mixed tag match sometime early May, because this gets us another jumping off point for these rivalries to get to the final one. Now we don't have to watch Adam Cole go through a bunch of labors to get to Jericho, or hoops being jumped for Saraya and Hayter, Saraya and Britt again, if that's where they're going with that, or however they're going to decipher that. We now have a jumping off point and says, okay, here's the line in the sand. Here's what happened. Here's where we go from here. It's like two separate pay-per-views are happening, and they can kind of function off of that, which they need.
Is there a special coming up in between now and All Out? Like,
I don't think
or something.
Well, if you're gonna go All Out, then you have like 3 pay-per-views. But if you go Double or Nothing, I know what you meant. Double or Nothing. I don't think there is anything for between now and Double or Nothing, because they usually had one at the end of April that did it. I don't think they have one right now.
Okay. All right. What else do you want to know?
What else do I want to know? Everything. I want to know winning numbers.
About the event, you idiot.
I know exactly what you were talking about. We skipped past it. I just saw it, so we'll talk about this one, and I'm just making sure. What did you think of Jay White Commander in the arena? Was it well received? Like, it seemed like it was kind of well received, but it also didn't seem like it was hitting on all cylinders.
Commander is super uber athletic.
Yeah.
There was a few times that you saw Jay White have to save him.
Yep.
And that kind of took the little bit of, there was a ripple there or whatever. Our section, we were wondering how many ring ropes he was going to run across at one point. So we kind of were not betting on that, but making bets of whatever. It was spotty. And I think it probably came off the same way on TV, that you knew that Jay White was going to win.
Yeah.
You knew that Commander was going to do everything and anything, but it was still going to be a Jay White win. So I thought they should have maybe saved this for something and just let Jay White beat. And I know Parker was in the match later, but I'm just saying, like, let him beat Parker or somebody stupid.
Did you get Did you see the Sean Spears rating things during this while you were there? Okay, I didn't know if that was how they were doing that, if they were showing that in the arena, if they were just kind of, something was going on.
He was legit in the crowd on across from us.
Oh, he was on the crowd. Okay, he was right across from me. Okay, I was wondering how that came across in the arena because they kept going back to that in the broadcast. So you gave this move 6.5 or like 5, and
he was there. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair. So.
Yeah.
Okay. We jumped around. Did you do a lot of scissoring while you were in Pittsburgh?
We did. At least the three of us did. We were waiting to see like when we were gonna scissor. We thought maybe as ROH was ending, we're like, we should probably scissor first. Like that would have made a lot of sense. And again, we've talked about the pillars being, first for a while, whatever. But we scissored. But listen, I love the Acclaimed. Everybody loves the Acclaimed. They're losing something now.
They're losing steam fast. Yeah.
And listen, they're not going to be champs anytime soon. The FDR has them, but they need something. They need something more right now.
They need a bigger rivalry than just than the JAF. Because let's be honest, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Parker are not near the top of the tag team division.
No.
So with the Acclaim feuding with them, that's kind of just deflating their bubble for a little bit here. So where does that step come in? I have no idea. Because they're not going to feud with the Guns. Because I feel like FTR Guns is the Double or Nothing tag team title match. I don't know.
That's not. I'll tell you right now, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin. People might watch Rampage tonight, so I don't. Spoilers are
all right. Well, I guess I was wrong, and I will have egg on my face tonight. So that is what it is. All right, main event time. What did you think of the Jungle Jack and Sammy?
First off and foremost, Darby was directly over me in the arena.
Okay.
Yep. We looked up, saw his feet. He was directly over me. So I understand, Darby. I understand. Yeah. I like this match. I really did. And it was people were pissed. People wanted to know how MJF was going to do it. And it was so late into Dynamite, maybe people were starting to forget that he promised to win.
Yeah.
He comes running out of the crowd, fucking socks him with the ring, slides him in, and Sammy gets the win. They were pissed until they started to hug because friends need to hug. That is money. Like, yeah. I don't. Me being my mind, that though gave away that I really think it's Jack Perry that's going to be facing MJF at the show, at the pay-per-view.
Well, the way they have the tournament bracket is the winner of Darby and Sammy next week is going to the pay-per-view. So Jack's out.
Jack's complete. Well, there's a month and a half. It's either going to be Jack or it's going to be everybody.
Technically, it's a month.
Yeah, I know. How are we going to get there?
Well, my thought is Darby either came out like $1 million, was designed to come out like $1 million in that promo earlier in the night to win this thing, or Sammy's fucking with MJF, gets the win next week against Darby, and then fucking turns on MJF and has a set up title match going forward. I really don't know. I think it would be a very unique way if they get back to a fatal 4-way triple threat match in that regard.
I really think they're going to. With that, listen, I hate to say this. This isn't a super uber main event. It's not MJF Mox or MJF and Punk that we looked at, or like, and I know we call them the pillars, and I've been saying now for a couple weeks, it's not time. It's not time that they cross paths. I really don't think so. I don't think this is a huge main event. You could put them against any one of them or all of them. I don't think this is going to be a show stealer for money-wise. The match might be amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'd be excited to see the match, but I don't think it sells tickets.
Is it the main event, though? I don't think it's the main event. I think whatever BCC and Elite is going to be your main event.
We haven't seen that, though, from AEW yet, have we?
We have not.
Where the title is not the main event.
We have not. But when
if it becomes an unsanctioned match or something.
Yeah. If it's unsanctioned, yeah, because we've seen that, because Omega and Mox did an unsanctioned match. That was main event in Baltimore back in 2019, I think it was. And I think they did one other time. But so you go unsanctioned in that match, and it's just pure chaos. And we've seen Omega and Mox in a purely chaotic match, so they're going to try to kill each other. Most likely there's going to be a bed of barbed wire somewhere, and maybe actually exploding rings at work. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah. But so it could be that that's not the main event. It could be that it's just going to be, because think of that fucking
event. Yeah.
It's sub-main event, but think of MJF and how pissed he would be if he's not in the main event, if he gets pushed.
It's a story for anybody that wins the main event then. Any one of the members.
Right. Exactly. So now MJF's going to have an additional chip on his shoulder that he won't shut the fuck up about. So it opens up that possibility. I think I would not be surprised if they find a way back to the Fatal 4-Way, to be honest.
Right.
I'm also in agreement with you. I don't think they have it built up enough for it to be meaningful yet. I think they need one of these guys to just have a shot one-on-one with MJF. We talked about this. They all need a one-on-one shot with him as the title holder. Have it be Darby, have it be Sammy now, or have it be Jack, however he gets back to it. If they make it a triple threat next week, I don't know. But however it gets there, it gets there. I think the story right now would be Sammy versus MJF, just because Sammy screwed over MJF, manipulated MJF to get him to the title match.
The money and
the money there. Yeah.
And then listen, Sammy's not winning.
No, Sammy's definitely not winning.
I don't think anybody but MJF wins.
Nobody but MJF was winning. Whoever showed up at Double or Nothing.
Right.
But I think the more interesting story right now is Sammy getting bought into the title match, into the title picture.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I just figured Jack Perry, first person out,
would be
during Dynamite, I thought, well, I didn't think he was going to win, especially with the buying and everything. But I thought, all right, let's wrap this back around. He's the one that's going to win everything then, but not the main match.
So, well, let's throw this out here for you. I just figured that best way to get him back to that is have something that AEW doesn't have that often, a no contest, and Jack just disrupts the main event next week.
I would, yeah. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He has nothing to lose, right?
He doesn't. Yeah, he has nothing to lose. If he can't have it, they can't have it, or it's all for one and one for all, and they just go for it. So, possibility out there.
Big return you didn't talk about. Luchasaurus looks amazing.
He does look amazing, and I'm kind of excited to see that feud.
I am, but for the love of fuck, it can't be switched already. You have to give Wardlow some comeuppance on this run.
Wardlow needs to keep it until at least All Out or All In London the week before. Like, he just needs to keep it for at least 4 or 6 months to get a solid run under him. That first run, let's get him in a warpath kind of run here for the next couple months. I want to see him against some New Japan star, mid-Carter. I don't know who the U.S. Oh, it's Kenny. Kenny's the U.S. champ.
Yeah.
So I think they have an Intercontinental champion. Whoever the Intercontinental champion is would be perfect against Wardlow in that regard, or something along those nature, or just somebody challenging him from New Japan. Suzuki.
We did.
Ishii, Suzuki. Yeah, something like that.
The other one that just joined. Why did I just forget his name? That is with Kenny.
Oh fuck, who am I forgetting? Takeshita?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Takeshita would be perfect for it. But
I would love to see that. I mean, granted, I really want to see him and Lucha just literally big men fucking ripping shit up.
Oh yeah.
And I can see Hobbs again. But Hobbs, if anybody has lost in this feud between Hobbs, Joe, and Wardlow, poor fucking Hobbs. He's got sent away to write a book. He came back. He held it for a minute. Now what do you do with Hobbs?
Well, I think they booked him into a short-term storyline with QT and that whole TMZ stupid bullshit that they were pulling, or QTV, whatever it's called. Because where was that going to go past, oh, we screwed over Wardlow? They just didn't work together. There's no reason for Hobbs to be associated with QT Marshall at all. So what was the point? I think that booked him into a short-term solution. So when Arn neutralized that problem, Hobbs can be like, get the fuck out of here. I'll see you later. I'm doing this on my own. We'll get another 3 months on Book of Hobbs, and then we'll get another title match between Hobbs and Wardlow potentially. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Got anything else? I don't have anything else.
You had fun, which was all that matters.
I had fun, and listen, I'll ruin a little bit. Rampage, it's okay. I did leave before the main event, though.
You did leave before Vikingo decided to go off of the rails and just break a table with his head.
And again, it's because I had perfect parking to get the fuck out before everybody was there. So I was happy to see Julia, though.
Yeah.
Both Julias. By the way, I saw Julia Hart wrestle, and I also saw Julia Dime Piece in the crowd, so I got to go over and say hi to the Dime Piece who was watching.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
So, yeah, other than that, I really got nothing else.
Look at Mark the Mark making rounds down there while he's in the crowd.
Shaking hands and kissing babies.
All these people are like, you should have had a Can Crusher hat or something on, just advertising.
I had my sweatshirt on.
Well, but you said you had the Brit shirt on, so you probably took the sweatshirt off at some point.
I did.
Yeah. So I'm just saying,
during the Brit match, then I put it back on because they had it like fucking the Undertaker was coming out of there. It was cold. It was also the day of snow too, by the way, of this week.
Fair point.
Yeah. What do you do? We talked about kind of what we're doing and everything. Oh boy, the Viking Raiders are on TV.
By the way, hey, proud of us. That was the first reference to SmackDown we made during the segment. So I'm just
well, because we were good.
We were good.
Not anymore. So, what do I got going on? I'm working until next week. I have like 3. I have not called a baseball game yet this year, by the way.
How'd you manage that so far?
I don't know. I've been getting all softball games, which is fine, fabulous. I listen. I love the 2 teams that I've been calling all year, St. Mary's and ECC. They are essentially both undefeated. They are just running amok on everybody. It was 15-0 in 3 the other day. I love those games because the pedal of the metal is on for the first 2 innings from one team.
Yeah.
And then the JV comes in and they get because there's no other schools have JV teams around here, but these 2. So you get to see the JV teams come in and do some stuff. I just like the experience and understanding, these girls are going to win states, the ones that start. But the ones that are playing the 3rd and 4th innings, because that's all they really need to play around here. We don't play 6 or 9 because they're killing them. They're getting that super awesome experience against other teams.
Yeah.
Listen, well coached.
Yeah. So, that's what I loved about it when I played football was, when we were kicking ass, I could come in as a JV star and play those varsity teams. You get experience, you get leveled up, what's coming up, so that when you get further along, you can take advantage of it and already have the mentality and, okay, I've done this before, let me go forward and do it again. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't do it that often, and I had to leave early when I got injured. So it was just one of those things. But I got that experience at least a few times, and I recognize that is a monumental learning thing for a lot of those girls in JV or anybody playing JV sports. You get into that varsity game, you think you've made it big at that point, and you're like, okay, I got to step up.
No disrespect to the infield or outfield, but you come in and say you're pitching 2 innings against said other varsity team.
Yep.
I'm a freshman pitching against this scholarship person. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. Do your thing.
Yeah.
And it is because we're up 15-0 in the third.
Yeah, but it's still
you
experience.
Don't know that. You're just pumped that you're getting into the game pitching against.
It's getting those nerves out now.
And that's the main thing.
When you have the cushion, so when you get to that level, you can just pitch. You won't have the nerve. You'll still have nerves, but you won't have.
It's like second thought, second level, second. Yeah.
You already used to it.
Is the word I was looking for.
Second, you were hitting it. You were hitting it on all the seconds, but you're in the zone at that point.
Other than that, that's all I got. I really am working baseball and I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's fair. Next week I'm gonna throw some dirt down in my backyard. Tomorrow I'm playing bingo, and that's all I got going on.
You're what?
I'm gonna play bingo.
Like There's bingo or something? Is
not purse bingo. I have been recruited for purse bingo before. That's happened. I've won a candle because tied with other people, but hey, whatever. Didn't get my satchel. Was very disappointed. Didn't have my indie moment. But no, tomorrow I think it's cash bingo. It's a benefit thing for one of the local townships around here. My sister's friends with somebody that lives there, so she goes. My brother-in-law is working. She goes, I got a ticket for bingo. You want to go? Oh yeah, let's play bingo. I'll play bingo. We used to play bingo all the time when I was younger at Campers Hill. So there was campground around here. Friday night bingos, diamond card, win the pot. So why the hell not?
Kelly goes. Thursday's the big bingo around here, so Kelly kind of tries to go as often as she can, and she plays 1 million cards. She spends a lot of money. I don't know if she wins, but she has a good time.
You know what? I'm going to have a good time.
I know she's winning. I know she's winning. She's just hiding.
You would not go back if you're not winning. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I'm going to play. Hopefully I win. Hopefully I can win enough to pay for half the iPhone, the new phone, whatever it is. Probably not. But speak it into existence, right? That's a thing. Speak it into existence. I'm going to win tomorrow.
You're winning big money.
Big money. Cannot wait for that $10 to come into my account. So we'll see what happens. But it'll be a good time.
I love you.
Love you too.
Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
The garbage can, not a garbage cannot. And make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.